Anthony Adebayo.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes. You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sport.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B. Hands up, don't shoot. All right, what's going on? It's Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
Boy, Scotty B, man. How's everything been going?
Everything is everything. Yeah, everything's been good, man. High school football is almost over. We're at the tail end of the regular season, so I feel like I'm gonna get more free time, but I'm not because I still got the Royals and stuff like that, and we setting up with that. But other than that, everything is good, man. How about you?
Man, it's been a long week. I will say that. You know, typically, like it feels like the weeks have been going by faster. But I had gotten a cold that I couldn't shake earlier this week. So I understand, but you know, now I'm good. Everything's back in order, and man, let's get to it.
All right, so there's so before we get started, I want to let everybody know. Of course, you can reach us on YouTube. We're on Facebook, but we're on Twitter, and we're gonna get the Twitter information. Not Twitter. We're always been on Twitter. But we're on TikTok, right? We're live on TikTok as well. Trying out different things. We'll get you the link for TikTok. Scotty had texted to me or something.
Yeah, nah. I get it to you. I mean, you can see all the comments.
And we got hearts, y'all. They be hearting us, yo. They hearting us. It's cool. But nah. All right, so it's a lot to talk about, and I know we got. I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. I'm gonna let everybody know because I got some feedback from last week's show, which it was a lot of positive feedback. But some people was like, we talked too long about the Cowboys and the 49ers. So I will say this. We're going to talk about the Cowboys and the 49ers, but it ain't going to be as long, man. Oh, my God. Hey, what up, Kev? Hey,
Kev been holding me down, man.
Hey, Brock Purdy has it. But anyway, we'll get to that in a second. But I will say that, thanks everybody for tuning in. But anyway, look, we'll get to this early, so you ain't got to deal with it. 49ers lost 2 in a row. Brock Purdy now is supposedly in concussion protocol, so he's probably not going to play this week. Got the Bengals coming into town. My guy Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase in the game. Are you concerned? And be honest. Are you concerned?
Yes and no.
Well, talk about playing both sides of the fence.
No. So look, right? I'm not. I want to be objective, right?
Okay.
Minnesota kicked our butt on Monday Night Football. I think it was apparent. Anybody that saw that game,
right.
Our defense got their butt whooped. And it's been a while since I've been able to place blame on. It was surely the defense and the secondary, which you shouted out. And I mean, for whatever reason, we couldn't get to Kirk Cousins.
Right.
What scares me a little bit is Joe Burrow. I have a feeling that the Bengals are going to come off the bye week hot. And if we can't get to the quarterback or we don't figure out how to play some zone, we could be in for a long night. I'm not as concerned with losing Brock Purdy because I think Sam Darnold is going to surprise a lot of people. I know he hasn't put a lot of good tape out there, and a lot of people probably feel like he's done. But there's a reason why we were able to move on from Trey Lance and just say, you know what, this guy's outright won the backup job.
Right.
And Kyle Shanahan, again, I still have a lot of belief in him.
Mhm.
I think he sees something in him that I don't see it as being too much of a drop off. So I still think.
I mean, that's
be a
fair.
good game.
That's fair. So, this game actually worries me a lot, right? I have yet to make my pick because I'm thinking honestly, I was gonna wait to see how you responded, because if you was getting a little greasy, I gotta go.
Nah, I think we had to humble ourselves.
Oh, okay. Hey, listen, y'all. Listen. Hey, Scotty's tone is a lot different than it was 2 weeks ago.
No.
2 weeks ago, his chest was out here. Now he back to normal. Nah, which I get it, right? Like it's a lot. That's a lot. And here's the thing. And God's honest truth, I think that what's happening in you guys is that the injury bug is starting to like really hit you guys, because Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey got hurt but came back and played. He played damn well. I mean he was the guy. Debo is hurt, and now you see on Monday that Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw was hobbled, right? So those are concerning, because I mean I ain't said a backup yet, and that's like those are like Pro Bowlers that we're talking about.
But you know why it's not as concerning for me?
Why?
If you're a 49ers fan, this is every year. Every year it feels like we go through these injuries, and it's always what if we had everybody healthy? You know what I mean? So I've gotten accustomed to, Kittle was always hurt.
Right.
McCaffrey hasn't really been hurt with the 49ers, but we know his history.
Yeah, right.
We've always got a quarterback that's down. We've always got some sort of injury that the team has got to overcome. So our seasons typically will either start out slow because we've got injuries and maybe finish strong, or we've got to deal with it in the middle of the season. So,
all right. I mean, so I'm not going to go as far as what you told me 2 weeks ago. I ain't going to go as far as say if you lose, your season's over. Because that you literally said if we lose to the Chargers, our season is over. Those are your words, right? And I feel like in the NFL, if you lose 3 games in a row, which honestly doesn't happen as often as people would think, right? But if you lose 3 games in a row, there should be some cause for concern, right?
Okay.
And that's what scares me the most, because you almost have a team that is pretty good that's damn near desperate, right? And if they're desperate, I don't know how good it's going to be for the Bengals. But the Bengals have a good defense, and we all know about Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, all of those weapons that they have on offense. So we'll talk about outcome later, but I just want them to play good because I need them for fantasy.
So I'll say this, right? 3 in a row is never good, no matter what team.
Right.
No matter what team you root for. I would say with the division and the conference that it's not backbreaking, right? So if we drop 3 in a row and somehow we can get back on track with that 4th game, I think we'll be okay just with the way the division is folding out. Now, if we lose 3 in a row and then somehow that turns into 4 in a row, that turns into 5 in a row.
I don't think you guys are going to lose.
But if it has a snowball effect, then that would be a little bit more concerned. So we'll see. Hopefully, like I said, we need this W. I think it is a desperate team, but hopefully we'll be able to get it.
Now, I tell you what, the next 2 games ain't going to be that easy. You got the Bengals, then you got the Jags. Oof. Well, we'll see. But all right, so moving on, and we don't really got to talk about the Cowboys. They play the Rams. It is what it is. Now, here's the thing: the Cowboys can't lose 3 in a row to the NFC West.
Right.
I think that's a thing as well. But trade deadline's coming up, and there's a lot of names that's been talked about. You got Devontae Adams, who's not happy. He went to Vegas for his boy. His boy got kicked out of the building. You got Derrick Henry, who hasn't really said much, but the Titans just traded Kevin Byard to the Eagles. There's a bunch of Jerry Jeudy has been on the Patrick Surtain, anybody on the Broncos, honestly, except for Russell Wilson. I think everybody else has been on the chopping block. So give me a trade that you can see happening that will maybe shock you, maybe not shock you, that you I guess see gonna happen.
So it was funny. Me and our friend Marcus, we were talking about this. We're talking about Derrick Henry.
Okay.
So right now, Baltimore looks like they can use them.
Right.
You know, right now, if you look at it, and I'll quote a few stats, Baltimore is like third in the NFL in rushing. So a lot of people would think that they wouldn't need a rushing attack, but a lot of that is Lamar Jackson. Right. And I think with the speedsters that they have, if they get a bell cow like Derrick Henry, it will absolutely help them. I actually think that Derrick Henry and Jerry Jones went on the record today as saying that he's not done finalizing the roster. Like
who said that?
Jerry Jones. He was just talking about that he's not opposed to it. He's not sending any trades.
Right, which I don't believe. So here's the thing, and I ain't being funny here. This is some of these things is what frustrate me with the Cowboys sometimes, right? Like I get not making trades every year, right? But right now, we should be busy. And here's why. I think we have a damn good team, right? I do think that the team as it's constructed can compete. But look at some of the moves, some of the other teams. Here's the thing. We can talk about Detroit all we want. We can say Detroit's this. I don't think Detroit's better than Dallas, 49ers, or Eagles. I think that those are the top three teams in the NFC. And you look at what the Eagles and the 49ers, who were just in the NFC Championship, have done the last 2 years, you say, all right, we need to make a move. Now, we don't have to panic, you know what I'm saying? But they just got an all-pro at safety. Now, what is he going to do? I don't know. But they got an all-pro. So
you're talking about the Eagles, right?
The Eagles. Yeah. They got Kevin Byard at safety via trade, which is
and
weird
I heard
because
that they're not done either.
I don't believe it. I mean, I believe that. I think that they're not done. So I don't think it's a thing of saying that we're panicking. I think that it should be a move out of necessity because let's be honest. My personal opinion, Tony Pollard doesn't seem like a number one. That's just my personal opinion.
Why I think Derrick Henry, if you compliment him with Tony Pollard,
I think you add Derrick Henry, Tony Pollard becomes another 1,000-yard back again.
Yep.
You know, and here's the thing. Everybody knows I'm a Ezekiel Elliott fan. But if you get Derrick Henry, you got Ezekiel Elliott on steroids, who people don't want to tackle him, right? And so I personally think, you go get Derrick Henry. Even
you have to, because if you look at the quarterback play, you look at the weapons that the Cowboys really have. The problem with the Titans is, and I've said it for years, and people are starting to finally realize that you might have been right about Tannehill. He's an okay quarterback, but he's not keeping 8 people out of that box. DeAndre Hopkins, he's still DeAndre Hopkins, but he's more of a possession receiver.
DeAndre Hopkins, I'm not saying he's washed.
No, I don't think he's washed.
I'm not saying he's washed. But what I am saying is he's soaking.
Well, no. Well, here's what it is, right? Certain receivers, they get to the point to where they're not a threat on the outside anymore. If you got DeAndre Hopkins lining up on the outside, his speed at this point is not going to blow the top off. He never was that guy. Right. But if you get him the ball in 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 9, he's a good possession receiver. But what that's doing is it's still clogging up the middle to where Derrick Henry can't be as effective. Now, you move him to a team like Baltimore, you move him to a team like the Cowboys, I really feel like with the weapons that those teams have, that they would be able to utilize Derrick Henry. I do believe, and me and you have talked about this, Derrick Henry's got like a couple more years. And then after that, he's not going to be the back that we're accustomed to.
Right.
If Tennessee doesn't move him, I see that as a waste of his years. I think that they're going to do the right thing. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's on the move to Dallas or
the Ravens.
Or the Ravens, yeah.
Yeah, so Derrick Henry, I agree with that. I think those are probably like the top two teams that's in the running form. It's just I just feel like the Cowboys should do whatever it takes to get. I mean, because honestly, they probably won the third. You know, they know they're not going to get a first for him. I'm sure they've probably asked for a first, and I wouldn't give a first for Derrick Henry, but I would give a.
I think he deserves a second. So if Christian McCaffrey goes for a second, right?
Mm-hmm.
Possibly a third.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just because of the point of his career that he's in, I think they've got to entertain it. I think the Titans have a very good young running back in Spears, and I think that they want to start building around him. And, you know, we've got Levis. He's going to start this week. Right. And it just may be time for a rebuild with the Titans. I don't know if there's any talk about Mike Vrabel. You know, they seem to be high up on him coaching the Patriots. I don't know how long Bill Belichick. It just may be time to just restructure and go a different direction.
So let me ask you this, because I feel like some underrated trade pieces that Darren Waller.
Okay.
I think he's one of the guys that's probably on the block. Dalvin Cook, I think we talked about that privately. Dalvin Cook being on the block. And after thinking about it, I was like, I wouldn't want him on Dallas right now. But
so that's interesting, right? So that's why I was just going to ask you. If you run a 1-2 punch with Dalvin Cook and Tony Pollard, does that give you a cheaper alternative than running with Derrick Henry?
I guess technically it is cheaper, but Derrick Henry's on his last year of his deal. And I guess Dalvin Cook got a 1-year deal as well, I think. So I think they're around. Well, yeah, it's about $3 million cheaper. I don't know if I think you'll get more production out of Derrick Henry.
So I've heard a lot of talk, and you just kind of brought it up. So I want to circle back to it. You're talking about the Giants being active in Saquon and with Waller and some of their pieces. Do you think it's time for them to pack up? I've been surprised to hear that.
The Giants?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think that I picked them to go last in the division, right? But
they look pretty good this weekend with Tyrod Taylor.
They played Washington.
They played Washington, but
Washington could have easily won that game.
Washington could have easily won that game. It was a very low-scoring game. But I think they should give Tyrod Taylor an opportunity.
I agree. He should be. I mean, first of all, I'm not winner of the week is your segment, but the Giants should be winner of the week for in 2023 having their first ever victory with a black quarterback, a black starting quarterback. I think that is crazy. I know people talk about Jerry Jones this and Jerry Jones that, but Jerry Jones then had black quarterbacks to start and win in his organization. I think that is utterly absurd.
For Geno Smith, right?
No, Geno Smith was the first to get a start.
Okay.
Tyrod Taylor, and he only got one start. Tyrod Taylor is the first to get a start and a win. Tyrod Taylor should get an opportunity with the pieces, right? Now, will they sell? I doubt it. I doubt that they trade Saquon and Darren Waller. Actually, either of them. But Tyrod Taylor should get an opportunity to be the starting quarterback. You've had Daniel Jones for what, 4 years now? 4 or 5 years. At this point, it is what it is. Get him up out of here. It is what it is. That ship has sailed.
So you think the money? So they just paid him.
Okay, and they got a team friendly deal.
Yeah, I've never been a Daniel Jones fan.
Me neither.
He's reminded me a lot of my good buddy Alex Smith.
Okay.
No, I'm serious.
No way.
Yeah, I'm serious. Alex Smith might be better. Yeah,
He's way better.
Yeah. No, I think he is better. But what I mean in a sense is he didn't really Daniel Jones doesn't put up flashy numbers, but he knew when to run, right? And I think like Alex Smith, Daniel Jones is an underrated athlete that can pick up first downs on the ground if he needs to, and he can make a few throws, right? So he's not going to be the, let's say, sexy quarterback to where he's going to necessarily throw for 300 yards, throw for 3 touchdowns. He may throw for 220, run for 40 yards, throw a touchdown and a pick, but you still win the game.
Right.
Which I don't know if there's a lot of teams that are necessarily like clamoring for that or saying that's what I need.
Daniel Jones, and I remember years I defended this guy a lot, but then all Daniel Jones is Ryan Tannehill, a first round Ryan Tannehill. That's all he is. That's all he is. An athletic white quarterback that is inconsistent throwing the ball. And what's the difference between Ryan Tannehill and Daniel Jones?
Oh, no, you're not going to get a disagreement.
I think it's at the point where the Ryan Tannehill thing has run its course. I defended Ryan Tannehill for a long time, but I'm cool on it. I don't feel the need that we have to defend Daniel Jones or Ryan Tannehill. Move on. There are better quarterbacks in the NFL than Ryan Tannehill and Daniel Jones. Will Levis be that guy? We'll see this weekend, but he may only get one game with Derrick Henry, so he better make it good. And honestly, how he performs is gonna tell the Titans what they want to do. You know.
So this is what I think about Daniel Jones, and we talked about this kind of offline. Daniel Jones, Tannehill, and Tyrod Taylor. I think they're all in the same group, right? So they're not necessarily the guy that you'll be like, you know what, I'm going to win a Super Bowl with that guy. But they're a guy, if you have as your backup quarterback, you're like, you know what, if this guy has to go win, I know he can still play.
Right.
You know what I mean? I know that he can steer the ship until I figure out what my next move is. Which I think that's tough to really have a backup of that caliber,
right?
Because the facts are the facts. It's just not a lot of great quarterbacks in the NFL. You know, it's hard to find a great quarterback. So if you can get one that's average to mediocre, I think you have to roll with that a little bit.
Can we address this real quick?
Yeah, sure.
So he said Daniel Jones doesn't get any protection. All right. And I don't want to hear that. First of all, last week or a couple of weeks ago, I said something about the linemen and having backup linemen and yada, yada, yada. But Joe Burrow is probably the least protected quarterback in the league, right? And so I don't want to hear the protection thing because he figured it out. He figures out a way to now I get it if you don't got the weapons, you know, he doesn't have all the weapons. But I mean, during last season, everybody said, I've heard people even say that Daniel Jones was better than Dak. And I felt like that was the dumbest thing ever. But yeah, I don't want to hear the protection. Oh, he's not getting protected. Figure it out. He's probably the most mobile quarterback in that division. I know people are going to say Jalen Hurts and whatever. No, Daniel Jones could run the ball. He's probably the fastest quarterback in that division, and probably the most mobile out of all four of the starting quarterbacks in the NFC East. So use your legs, you know, and I don't like the excuses of you got Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley got you paid. Now you got Darren Waller. You got Wandale, Wanye from Boys to Men. You got you got pieces, right? You don't have the worst skill group in the NFL, right? You don't. You got Saquon Barkley. All right, let's not. You have a former All-Pro and Darren Waller. So yes, you have weapons. Pat Mahomes don't got no receivers for real. He got Travis Kelce. But the other guys played a part. So I feel like, yes. Does he have the best protection? No. And I get it. But can you figure it out? Absolutely. Because you and I both watched the game where a quarterback got sacked 9 times and still won the game.
Yeah.
You know, so it is what it is. We're not gonna play the excuse game. If you're that guy, you figure it out. You know, and that goes for anybody. That goes for Daniel Jones, Desmond Ridder, Sam Howell, Dak, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, Mahomes. You got to figure it out.
So let me ask you this, right?
Mhm.
And we go through this. I think we've been doing this almost about 10 years now. It feels like. Is this the best time of year?
Ooh, we had this. I feel like we had this conversation like every year. Is it now or is it March? You know, it's now. Listen, October sports. It don't. You literally getting damn near everything. You're getting playoff baseball. You're getting NFL. You're getting college football. You're getting NBA starts back up. What else you get? College basketball gonna start up in a month.
Yeah,
I mean,
you got hockey.
You got hockey.
You got everything. And
yeah,
it's been
you got WNBA champion playoffs.
Yeah, it was funny. On Monday night, I was watching. I was flipping back and forth between the Niners game and then the baseball game.
And, no, basketball started on Tuesday.
Yep. So it's definitely. I love this time of year. World Series. I know we haven't talked a ton of baseball.
Yeah.
We got the Diamondbacks versus the Rangers.
I love it. So here's the thing. I'm trying. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I was kind of hoping Philly made it.
I was hoping Philly made it too.
I
thought they were gonna beat the Diamondbacks.
Yo, you can't. You up 3-2. You gotta close them out. You gotta close them out. I really thought that Philly was gonna find a way get to the World Series because I felt like Texas is the hottest team in the playoffs right now. Right? I think they're the hottest team. It wouldn't even matter if Philly was gonna be in it. And I think Philly was probably the best story for MLB, but I think that
Texas, they just figured it out at the right time. I mean,
Max Scherzer.
Yes, they figured it out at the right time. The Diamondbacks, it was like they woke up and figured out how to pitch, and it's two stories of two teams that people didn't really think that were going to be there. They came into the playoffs. They were the two hottest teams, and we get to see them go at it for the World Series.
And Diamondbacks got like 84 wins, had like 84 wins or something like that. So they snuck into the playoffs. And I mean, this is going to be good. But I got the Rangers winning the World Series.
I got the Rangers too.
And I think I got the Rangers in 6. I honestly think it's going to be shorter than that, but I think the Rangers in 6 because, I mean.
I was heartbroken, like I was a Phillies fan. And me and you, we keep talking about it, but I just mentioned that. Bryce Harper, man, he's my guy. He's my guy. And I really, really legitimately was rooting for him to be able to get a ring. But so we got basketball too, right? Basketball season started.
Mm-hmm.
So we got James Harden. The Bucks are playing tonight. They're playing Philly.
Mm-hmm.
James Harden didn't make the trip. The team is saying that it was on them, that he didn't make the trip because he was out of shape, just because he hadn't been playing. He hadn't showed up, and he hasn't had a 5-on-5 scrimmage. What are your thoughts of the upcoming basketball season?
But James Harden?
For just anything. James Harden, upcoming basketball. What are your thoughts?
Well, one, I think he's going to get traded, or he's going to send him home. One of the two. They stopped him from boarding. I just looked it up. They stopped him from boarding the team. Yo, this man ain't been around. Hold on, before I get to everything, he ain't been around for the last like 2 weeks. And was like, I'm just gonna get on the team plane, and everything is gonna be everything's gonna be all good. No, you dummy, you. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But as far as the season, I'm excited mainly because there's a lot of storylines. You got the Denver storyline. You got Dame in Milwaukee. You got the Lakers, who's supposed to be one of the deepest teams, and which I think they are, one of the deepest teams in the league. You got Phoenix and their big three. I mean, you just got some of the young guns. You got, Wemby. You got Oklahoma City. You got Cleveland, and you got Brooklyn. Those are some of the teams that I'm like, people better watch out for because they gonna make some noise. Don't sleep on Charlotte either. Charlotte is gonna be my sleeper. Charlotte is gonna be my sleeper to get the 6th seed in the East.
Okay.
So here's the thing, and I want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about this too long, but we had a conversation during the offseason around free agency time. We were sitting right over there, and you said the Wizards were gonna win less than 25 games. Are you still riding with that?
I said the Wizards were.
You said they were gonna win less than 25 games.
No.
So you're off that.
Yeah, I'm off that.
Cause I could go pull a clip again.
No. I think I am a Knicks fan. Everybody knows I'm a Knicks fan. But because I watch a lot of basketball, the Wizards, I always watch them. And, I secretly kind of root for them just because, like I said, if there's a game on, they've got the local game, I'm typically watching. My frustration with them is I never know what direction they're going in. But, hey, I think Daniel Guilford is going to have a good season. I think Jordan Poole is going to have a good season. I think they've got pieces. They'll win more than 25 games, but it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out.
Yeah, I think they're going to be good. So I think the East is going to be pretty. I think the East is going to be competitive, but I think it's going to be different to how the West is going to be competitive. I look for the Kings to continue to get better. And take steps forward. I also think that Memphis is going to take a step back. Even though I know Ja got a 25-game suspension, but I think they're going to take a step back. He's going to get time to get acclimated. So my sleeper in the West is the Pelicans. Go figure that both teams that are my sleepers are played in Charlotte, but whatever.
Right.
But I think the Pelicans are going to be, now we're talking if teams stay healthy now. I think the Pelicans they're going to be a 6th seed. I have them around the 6th seed. I think they have a lot of talent, and I think that they stay out of the play-in tournament.
So is Zion Williamson driving this? Like, you feel like he's going to come back and
if he's healthy, the Pelicans may be higher than the 6th seed. If he stays healthy the whole season, the Pelicans will be higher than the 6th seed.
Yeah, okay, I can see that, right? Because they got McCullough, got Ingram. It's a plethora.
They got talent, and they got young talent too. So that's why I feel like if they stay healthy, you're gonna be hard pressed to be like, yo, the Pelicans,
right?
They good, man. They gonna be good. So those are my two Pelicans, and those are my two 6 seeds, the Pelicans and the Hornets.
Okay.
Don't ask me why. So the Hornets got this big man Williams. They got this this front court player. I mean, and he pretty damn good. You know, I think this is second year. I think last year he averaged like 9 and 8 or something like that. But I mean, he played well.
They also got Gordon Hayward. Back.
Yeah, yep. I think they put together a pretty good roster.
Miller.
Mm-hmm.
So no, they've
He still got what's his name? Melo.
Yeah.
So we'll see. All right, we gotta get to the winner of the week. Dun, 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 dun. If I can find it. Boom.
No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner.
All right. So I've been going back and forth in my mind about this, right? So it's a couple of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought about James Harden as the winner of the week,
Mm-hmm.
but I was like, you know what? Nah.
Uh-oh.
Then we never got to the winner of the week last week.
We didn't. Oh boy.
And I was like, you know what? I could still make my winner of the week from last week the winner of the week this week.
Oh boy. Who's that?
This is not a sports related, but I feel like we do it injustice if we don't.
I know where he's going. Uh-oh.
Jada Pinkett Smith is my winner of the week.
Well,
she is my winner of the week because I feel like she is out there embarrassing my guy, Will Smith. And I have no idea why somebody like her would do that to her husband on countless occasions. What are your thoughts about this? Because this is something that I know it's not a sports topic, but we definitely got to talk about.
Jada played basketball in high school. I don't know if that to be true. I don't know that to be true. All right, so man, Jada. I feel like with Jada Pinkett Smith, she's trying to sell a book. She's trying to sell her book. But to what expense, right? I feel like, I mean, she made Will Smith look like a straight up sucker, right? And you know, he's gonna stick by her. He's gonna stick by her. But I think there's certain ways you could go about things, and I don't agree with what she was doing as far as like going on her book tour and just pretty much pooping on her husband, right? You know, talking about her relationship with Tupac and all of these things. And I get it. It's one thing we can't say about her is that she's dumb. She ain't stupid. She knows what's going to get the clicks. She knows what's going to get the eyes on her. She knows she's going to do that. And I did start to think, I was like, was Will Smith the one that was up to this? Because, I mean, Will Smith's been acting for quite some time. And he's probably the one that wrote this story. You know, I've been thinking about it because then he had a freestyle. I think I sent you that joint. He had a freestyle, and I'm gonna try and find the joint. That joint was all right. I was like, well, damn. But I start to think because first of all, this is a weird couple. I think Will Smith in this whole time has gained even more fans somehow, some way.
You think so?
I think so because so many people feel sorry for Will Smith. They're like, yo, why is this woman doing this to her husband? Like, why? Like, why? Is it just to sell a book? Is she trying to? She said.
So that's the worst part, right? Is it's not like you really should need the money.
They don't need the money. And so here's the other thing. It was like she said something about them being separated since like 2016. And I'm like, I don't believe that. I didn't believe it when I first heard. I was like, no. Like, how is that? And then I'm thinking to myself, like, poor Chris Rock. Like, he lost feeling in his face. Because, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, I don't know. So I think that I won't say it's all scripted, but something's not adding up to me. Something's not adding up to her behavior and to his nonchalantness. Because I don't want to hear, "Oh, that's love." Nah, this from her talking and him not saying a lot. There's something missing that we don't know. And the only thing that I could think of was that he knew everything she was going to say because he's the one that wrote the script.
I think that there might have been a little bit of jealousy when
From
he
who?
put out his book. And I think that she felt the need to tell her story, which, I mean, most might not know. I'm an avid reader, so I did pick up both books.
Mm-hmm.
I say from, reading Will Smith's book, it was a really good book.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best memoirs I've ever read.
Okay.
Her book, not so much.
Wow.
But I'm not too far in. I'm about 150 pages in, and we'll see, right? Because I'm still trying to figure out the motive of the book.
Right.
The premise is women's empowerment. The book's called
Damn. Hey,
no.
It's a lot of empowering. That's a lot of empowering.
Yeah, no. It's women's empowerment. I'm waiting to see what direction it goes into, but I right now the book tour worked. It maybe did grab the book, but it was embarrassing to see how it was at her husband's expense. All right, so while we're on this too, Dwight Howard.
Oh, God. Okay.
I don't know if everybody knows.
Oh, Jesus.
We're not going to get too far
Please.
into what's going on, but Dwight Howard's got some accusations out there. Some of them may be true. Some of them not. He's got a lawsuit. Pretty much some allegations of, I believe it's sexual assault.
Right.
What are your thoughts, man? I mean, were you surprised to hear this, or?
Hey, Scotty, I ain't gonna lie to you. I have no thoughts because I don't even want to. So here's the thing. You do what you do in a in your own personal space. I ain't judging nobody for doing whatever it is, whatever lifestyle choices they make. But it don't matter if it's man, woman, whoever. No means no, right? Now I'm not saying that someone told him no, but I'm just telling the people that no means no, and if someone, man or woman, says no, then you should respect the no and keep it pushing. Wrong choice of words. Don't keep it pushing. Don't keep it pushing. Wrong. My bad. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean it. Don't keep it. If it's no. No means no. Damn. I didn't mean to say that. I promise. But like this whole story, and I don't know all the details, and I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't want to know all the details. I don't want to know all the details because I'm good on that, right? So so I don't really have thoughts on it because if it turns into a legal thing, then we got something to talk about. But if it doesn't turn into like a legal thing, if it's just hearsay and all that, I don't want no parts of this.
So I want to tell you what I don't agree with, right? And it's nothing that you didn't say, but So some people have said that some teams don't want to be bothered with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's pretty clear in my mind. I still believe that Dwight Howard could still help an NBA team. I don't
Right.
agree with, because there's been plenty of players that have had similar allegations
Right.
and have still gotten the opportunity to play.
Right.
And right now, there's been no concrete proof. You know what I mean? Like we don't know. He'll have his day in court. But for
Right.
him to be really out of the league for a couple of years, I didn't agree with that.
I agree. I'm same here.
So, what was interesting, and I believe Stephen A. brought it up. He was talking about Dwight Howard being a top 75 player.
Right. Yeah, I don't think he got it though, but he should be.
He should
absolutely
be, right? And when you start to think about this guy's accomplishments, he accomplished a lot on the
Mhm.
basketball court. And it's unfortunate that he's having to play overseas, because I really do believe that he can help.
I
NBA team.
agree. Yeah. So no, I definitely agree. I definitely agree, and he should be in the NBA. I mean, and you know what? You said something about Stephen A. He brought up Boogie Cousins, and I agree with Stephen. Like, I think that Boogie Cousins should be in the league as well. So I mean, hey, whatever you're gonna do, live your truth, whatever that is. Now, some may say that he's not living his truth, right? And and again, I don't know, but my thoughts to that is just live your truth, be who you are. Excuse me, be who you are, and whatever. Can we move on to the next subject?
Yeah, we can, because I got a very interesting subject. I think it's gonna change the environment. All right, so all of us know that we pretty much don't like the same sports teams. Well, we do have one team in common. We both are Michigan football fans. Michigan's very good right now. Second team in the nation, right? Ranked number
Correct.
2. They're 8-0, but they've come under a lot of scrutiny with this sign stealing scandal. What are your thoughts about this sign stealing scandal? Because I'm sick of hearing about it already.
I am sick of hearing about it as well. I think it's one of the dumbest things that I'm like, we gotta do better. I mean, it's because I'm not getting worked up over this, but I do feel like other teams do it. It is what it is. If coaches are complaining about this, we have the NFL has microphones in the helmets. College should have been implemented microphones in the helmet. Both college and pros follow and copy all the time. You know what I'm saying? So they should have microphones in the helmet. You ain't got to worry about signs being stolen. And here's the thing, especially with football, and we've heard it from people.
So let's go back there for a second, because this might be news to most people, and it was news to me. Ironically, I didn't know that in college they didn't have the microphones in the helmet.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Oh, no.
I've seen all the signs, but I just thought that they had signs and they had microphones in the helmets. So in high school, they don't have microphones in the helmet. And semi-pro,
not legally. And semi-pro, some teams do, some teams don't.
Is it that expensive? Because I guess the counter argument is everybody can't afford it.
Every college team can afford microphones in the helmet. Every single college team can afford microphones. Most colleges have instant replay now. Division I and Division II have instant replay. I'm sure Division III does as well. I'm not sure, but I know Division I and Division II have instant replay. If you got ability to do instant replay, you have ability to put a microphone in the helmet, in a few helmets. It ain't the world's most expensive equipment, and football is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Whether you talk about the NFL, whether you talk about college, there's tons and tons of money. It ain't back in the 90s where you had Michigan and Ohio State. They would have Nike jerseys and maybe a couple other Big Ten schools or Florida State. And then you have, Fairleigh Dickinson with some poo putt, whatever. No, damn near everybody has Nike jerseys, Under Armour, or Adidas. And I'm talking Division I, Division II, Division III. Everybody had all these colleges are making money, especially these football programs. Maybe not all of them, but these schools can afford microphones in the helmets. They can.
Okay. No, I just thought it was interesting because Nick Saban was talking about it today on the Patrick McAfee show. And that was one of the first things he said is he didn't know if every school could afford it. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, shouldn't be that expensive. And that's what
I'm sure that they're expensive, right? But they're not that expensive. Again, you think about this. Now there are some schools, lower level schools, that they don't fundraise the way a Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, Michigan, how they fundraise. They may not. But as I say that, they can still afford it because it's not like you're getting a microphone for every single player. You're getting it, and you don't need to get it for every single quarterback, And worst case, you could put one microphone in another helmet. It is what it is. So it could be done.
It should be maybe they could make it a Division I requirement, right? For you to be a D1 school, you've got to have the ability to do that because it's a competitive advantage, just like you would have to hire trainers or, a certain thing.
And here's the thing. You can know what I'm running. But it's going to be hard to stop. It doesn't matter. Let me rephrase that. It helps you prepare a little better, but I can tell you now, as a player, as a coach, once the game starts going, it don't matter. You can know what somebody's running, but can you stop it? You can here's the thing. Yeah, I know you're gonna run right. You can put everybody to the right. You know what the offensive player is gonna do? Cut back left. It is what it is. So yeah, you can make it tough for somebody, and there's something.
You don't think it's a competitive advantage knowing the play that somebody's gonna run?
Here, I'll tell you something. If you think that these teams are using the same every week, you're a damn fool. Look, I coach high school, and we damn near change our signs weekly. Because there's people there at the games. You exchange film. I'm not. No. Now, some of the things you're gonna do. Some of the things you're gonna do the same things. You just may have a different sign for it, or it may have different lingo this week. It is what it is, and you adjust it. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. Like, everybody, the damn near the universal call for cover one, man coverage, is black. That's why everybody, man to man, black. So you can do something to disguise your call. You can have another call for it, Panther. So whether I say black or whether I say Panther, you're doing the same thing. You see what I'm saying? So, there's ways around that. And yeah, if you got a sign here, you go boom or whatever you got, you can know it. If I know that if that's the cover three, if I know that they're running on verts and they do this, they run in verts, they may do this and then run all hitches. I think it's made. They're making a huge deal out of it. If you got dogs, you got dogs. If you don't, you don't. It is what it is. Michigan didn't get this good because they were stealing signs. They got this good because they got one of the best offensive lines in the country. They got one of the best quarterbacks in the country, one of the best running games in the country, and they got one of the deepest rosters in the country. It ain't because they stole Michigan State signs. Like, we're talking about Michigan State, who is probably like the 6th or 7th best team in the conference right now. And next year, they're probably going to be like the 10th or 11th best team with all these new teams coming in. Man, it's just, to me, it's a bigger deal than what it has to be. And it's kind of annoying, actually. It's annoying.
So this is where I think not really that we differ. It's interesting to see a fan's perspective and people that actually play the sport. So Dion kind of mentioned it better. I mean, well, and shout out to Dusty Baker too, him retiring or whatnot.
Yeah.
But he talked about it was completely different in football
than baseball.
And baseball.
Absolutely. I agree.
So with the sign stealing scandal in baseball, people went crazy when that.
Absolutely.
Astros were doing that. In football, I haven't heard one coach publicly come out and say anything negative. And a lot of the players are just like, same sentiment that you have.
Stop it then. You know it. You know what I used to do sometimes when I played? First of all, because we study film, I'm calling out what you're gonna run. We still gotta stop it. And like, did we stop it? Yeah. A lot of times we stopped it because we were just better than you. It is what it is. You got a basic offense, and it is what it is. And there's been times I remember this vividly in high school where guys on our O-line used to tell them what we were running, and we ran it, and we're successful. You got to be able to stop it. You got to be able to stop it. It's a lot, and I promise you that happens a lot of the time in the NFL, in college, in high school. That you got somebody that may be a dog, and you can know what I'm running, and you can't. We saw it on NFL films before with Cam Newton and who the hell was he? I forget who the defender was. They called out what they was gonna run. Cam Newton was like, "Oh, you was watching film. Watch this," and ran the play that the guy called out and scored a touchdown. Listen, if you a dog, you a dog. If you're not, you're not. It is what it is. It is what it is. Listen, Michigan State wasn't gonna beat Michigan this year. Ohio State wasn't gonna beat Michigan the last 2 years. I mean, Michigan was just a better team. You know, now they're like the FBI is that. I'm like, good God, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
This is.
I mean, they're on campus now.
Oh my gosh!
I think the bigger thing, and me and you had talked about it, is it going to chase Harbaugh out of town? I mean, with that, does he get sick of being in college sports now? I mean,
it might. I think that one of the things that need to happen is somehow, some way, that these conferences need to disband from the NCAA. And I think when that happens, I mean, now, if that happens, you have to have some sort of organization. You can't just be like, oh, we just out here willy-nilly, you know. But you know, the NCAA is one of those organizations that they don't use common sense, and it's just weird, man. I feel like Harbaugh is probably going to be like, you know what? I can go coach the Chargers next year and have
San Diego.
Yeah, well, they're in LA. They're not in San Diego.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, you know, you go coach the Rams. I mean, not the Rams, but the Chargers, or who else is probably going to be looking for a coach next year? Chicago. I mean, I wouldn't go. I would stay in Michigan if that was the case. But yeah, I mean, the Raiders maybe. You know, here's the thing. If when Pete Carroll left USC, I mean, he kind of saw the writing on the wall. It was ultimately the same. It was a little different, but the funny thing is that scandal wouldn't even be a scandal right now, because it was like, you know, it's just weird. And I think that they're probably gonna push him out of college football, and that's unfortunate, because right now, I mean, they said Michigan may had a record for most guys drafted in the draft. So I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting. And if he leaves, I'm concerned about Michigan football.
Yeah, I think a lot of it have to do with, too, will he be able to get a national championship? I mean,
Right.
you know, he got the team to the playoffs. He finally crossed the hump of
Ohio State.
beating Ohio State,
Mhm.
getting the Big Ten championship. I guess what's left is he's got to win the national
Championship.
championship.
Yeah.
So I think we've got a great team. We got Ohio State, Penn State in November.
Mhm.
It's going to be exciting. I think we could beat both teams, and it's going to be interesting.
Listen, first of all, I think this might be the worst beating we give Ohio State out of the last 3. I mean, we whooped them the last 2 years, but I think this year Ohio State offense is now they have a good defense, but their offense is terrible. Like it's bad. I ain't being funny. I think you know how we lost 60-something to whatever against Ohio State a few years. It's gonna be like that. I think that this team is that much better than Ohio State and Penn State. I think Penn State is good, but they're like a year or 2 off. I think the quarterback's a freshman.
Right.
But he's a good quarterback. He plays well. I think Michigan. I think neither one of them can stop Michigan's running game, and I feel like Michigan is going to destroy Ohio State because now Ohio State is one of the schools that I think Michigan was still in our signs. They brought it to they questioned C.J. Stroud, and he was like, "I'm in the NFL now, yada yada yada." But we did feel like they were doing something. So you still throw that at because you could have left it. I'm a Texan. I'm in the pros. I'm not looking back at that. La, 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 la. But he threw in the butt. But we did figure they were doing something. No, they were beating the break. I mean, because they were running. You couldn't stop the run. You couldn't stop the run. So, I mean, it's funny that now, and I think this is when you made it. This is when you made it. When they saying you stealing signs and all that shit is ridiculous. So I don't know, man, but we about to get out of here. Before we do, though, I do want to send a rest in peace to Georgetown women's basketball coach, Tasha Butts. She's only 41, but passed away due to complications with cancer.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so 41 years old is super young. That's crazy. She had just got there. She's been coaching for quite some time, and it's unfortunate. So, I mean, it's tough. It's tough when you lose somebody in the sports world. But rest in peace to her, and ain't in pain no more. So yeah. So what you got left, man? Anything? Bills, Bucks tonight. Who you got?
Ooh, I think the Bills bounce back.
All right. I mean, the safe thing to say is the Bills, but I took the Bucks on the money line.
Okay. I mean, it's not a bad pick. I mean,
I really just did it because
it was good.
I don't know who's going to win that game. I honestly don't care. I whatever. I got James Cook in trade in the NBK league, so I hope he scored 4 touchdowns. Not next week.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, so look, shout out to the Burning Goats. Look, you better go get Chase or some people out there that might be after Chase.
Phil, if you watching, like I told you a couple weeks ago, study long, study wrong. And I will say that you know what the price is. You know what the price is. Stop looking for a military discount. Stop trying to use, you know what I mean? Stop trying to use the homeboy discount. If you want to play, you gotta pay. All right. So you know what the price is. You know what it is. So that's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is there's a God to my right. There's some other people that have inquired about one Jamar Chase. Of course, I'm not going to tell you what the offers were, but you ain't the only one, buddy. So again, study long, study wrong. All right. But but see, y'all, we didn't argue about about the 49ers and the Cowboys. We were cordial today. But we out of here because it's time to go. So this is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
Your boy Scotty B.
We out.
No, you.
My bad, y'all. Oops. Anthony Adebayo.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo, and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sport.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.